Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast, another Thursday morning. Um, hey, there you go. Guess this music. um, so happy to be here once again with you in black and white with the logo and all that stuff. I usually don't use it on Thursdays, but I'm like, I gotta use this thing sometime, and it took so much time to use this. I usually use this artwork for when I do my one-on-one interviews or whatever, but why not use it now? I mean, it looks so good. Anyway, um, if you looked at the thumbnail that I that I put up for this video, I asked AI to create the characters that Horatio and I used to do on Saturday Night Live called the Old School Rappers, and that's what it came up with. Obviously, did a fairly good job with Horatio. I should put a picture up of it, but uh, I look more. Obviously, they took a. I look like Denzel Washington. Uh, yeah, what do you think?
You look like somebody. I can't place it, but it's not Jerry Minor.
Yeah.
But it's AI. It does the best it can.
We were just talking before I came on about SNL, and you were saying that there was a sketch you saw someone with a bald wig under the wig, right? Because we were talking about wigs and how much you have to wear
Right.
wigs
Billy
in
Crystal's
sketch.
wearing the bald cap. He's got the wig on top of it. Martin Short pops him in the head, and his wig pops off. And now the whole sketch took on a different tenor.
Yeah. So, and I was telling you that usually um, you have to wear a bald cap under, like that's your base costume when you're doing SNL, especially when you're doing a lot of costume, like when you're a host or you're doing a lot of different characters, because you wear a lot of wigs, and it's easier to put a wig on a bald head than it is to put on your hair. So they just give you a bald cap at the beginning of the night, and then you put wigs on the top of the bald cap. It makes it very easy for the quick change too, because you're getting changed a lot. You're not even if you're going from one sketch to another during the break, you've got to get changed in the hallway or like behind the set. You just step behind the set, and then there's 10 people taking off your clothes and putting them on and doing your makeup as you stand there, and then you're ready for the next sketch. And for them to put a wig on is a lot easier than trying on the bald head is a lot easier than your hair. Although I will say, so I sweat so much. This is one story I have about the ball cap. And those ball caps are like they're sealed with spirit gum all the way around the sides and in the back. It's like sealed so it doesn't come off, and it looks like a bald head. That's how you get the whole the look of a bald head is because it's sealed and there's makeup around the sides, so um, it gets hot under there, and I sweat a lot anyway, and I sweat from the top of my head. I had so much one night, and I had a bunch of sketches, and for me, whenever I was on SNL, it was like feast or famine. Either I had sketch in every, I was in every sketch, or I was in none. So one night I was in every sketch, and I got so hot in that bald cap that there was a bubble had gathered behind in the back of my head. I think it was for SNL. It might have been for another show, but a giant bubble had gathered in the back of my head where it looked like
That's
I couldn't get
awful.
the wig on right. It was a bubble. It was a bubble of
That's a
sweat.
comedian's version I forget the name. A hemorrhage.
Right? I
An
gotta put
embolism. It's a makeup embolism.
embolism. Yeah, yeah. It looked like my head was about to burst open in the.
Yeah.
Uh, I put my comments on. Um, anyway, so much sweat had gathered in the back. It was a little bubble in the back, and they didn't know what to do because I'm like, this is gonna like pop open at some point. It had gotten so big back
Gotta
there, I couldn't get
lance
the wig
it.
on.
Did you
They,
lance it?
yeah, they lanced it. They just took a pin and just a flood of sweat just. I'm like, oh my god! They had to put a towel because my clothes were getting soaked. They
Ew.
had to put a towel up there. Yeah,
Comedy
so
is
much
not
sweat.
pretty.
Yeah.
As Steve Martin said, comedy is not pretty. Um,
Right?
you got to
Um,
put a shit like that. Lance, my sweat balloon, please, crew member.
I was also doing a sketch where I was doing Steve Harvey and or a version of Steve Harvey, and so they had the appropriately had the big high top fade wig that they put on, but they put it on wrong because I had that bald cap on, and it was like
Mm-hmm. Oh
the
no,
hairline was meeting my
the
it was
caveman hairline down on the
yeah, it
eyebrows.
was meeting my eyebrow. It was so ridiculous.
No,
And I was going to a sketch, and I looked at it later on. I was just like, "Oh man, I was never gonna get this sketch on. I looked like an idiot, like a crazy
don't you hate
person."
that?
Yeah,
When
because it looked
you do
like
a bit and then you get off stage, you look in the mirror, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know I looked like that. I would have fixed it. I would have done something about it.
it was also one of those things where I didn't get a laugh because people I think thought, well, that's the character. I guess the character that he's doing looks like that. He has no forehead, because I wasn't doing an impression. I was doing more, which is a good lesson, more of a Mr. Show type of thing. I was doing a character based on a person, if that makes
Yeah,
any sense. So on Mr. Show
absolutely.
we never did impressions. They would do
Rarely.
characters that were based on people. So
Yeah, like
Instead of
Kevin's
doing a
chimney and
Kevin,
he-
they did a character called was it Norma Jean Monster, and it was Marilyn Manson, but a character like Marilyn Manson.
yes,
He called himself Norma Jean
yes.
Monster. All right, and I think the Norma Jean Monster was the band, and they did another. We did another character where it was like a Marilyn Manson, and he had another. It might have been Norma Jean Monster again, but it was always like a character that was based on something else like that. Not a.
Hmm.
I think my Faircon character was called Reverend Kalunda. You know,
Mm.
so I was doing a character based on Steve Harvey. So I had the teeth and I had the hair, but if you didn't know that I was doing Steve Harvey, I had the suit, you know I was doing Steve Harvey. Um, it might be really hard, and so then I looked so ridiculous that I think that was just like, oh, I don't get this, and I would have been better off doing what you usually do on on Saturday Night Live and just being Steve Harvey. You know,
Just tell him. That's what
yeah,
Carvey does. He always tells you what he's going to do before he does it. There's no guesswork.
yeah, yeah. It works on some stuff, certain shows, and that show was like you never had that much time to set up sketches anyway. They didn't do long. They might do some film sketches, and the sketches may go long, but you just don't have the time to write it, really. With any kind of intricacy.
Mm.
So, yeah. Anyway, um, we were looking at the
It's one
picture.
o'clock.
I
Here we
talked about the
go.
picture. Yeah.
Here we go. We're like the bus driver who shows up early. Don't you hate when the bus comes early? I always feel like I've been betrayed.
They do that
Badly
with the
betrayed.
train too, and the train sometimes it'll leave early, which is real
That's what
bullshit.
I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah,
about. I said when they come early, that's fine. It's the leaving early that is the
leaving early.
problem.
Yeah, you can get
That
there
happened to me in New Jersey all the time. I get to the bus stop right on time, and there he is down the road.
leaving. Like what the fuck? What is
Mm.
this shit? Do my job better. Well, I can't.
I guess it.
Now my job is fucked up. But yeah, we had the bus driver that got here a little bit early. Horatio should be joining us in a little bit. I did preface all of this by saying that usually on Thursdays I come just normal, but I got my whole little setup. Although your name isn't on here, I should have put your name in here. Yeah.
I know. I got axed. I not only did I get axed from the picture, but then the indignity of getting removed from the names too.
It was very easy for me to go like, oh, do the old school rappers and then throw Mike Delaney in there and see what it says.
No, not necessary. No, it decided AI decided to leave me out of it. I asked AI to design a cover for my book, and it started adding all these random co-writers that had nothing to do with it. Like it just pulled improviser
Just
names
random
out
name.
of a hat.
Were there real people?
Two of them were real. The other one I assume is real. I just didn't know who it was.
Did you
Two
feed the
were
book into?
two were associates of mine.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I
Weird.
just like assumed like yeah, you stole
I
from them.
told it to two people who worked on it, and it forgot about the two people who wrote it with me and added its own two names. It was like, it's like it couldn't remember, and that's the best it could come up with.
That's great.
If you're doing
So,
real work and you need to make real changes, it's infuriating. If you're just having fun, it's awesome. Of how it'll take something and totally misinterpret it and give you this weird thing.
yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, I was looking at some footage of those Waymos burning in L.A. And if you think that's the last time that somebody's gonna light those robots on fire, you got another thing coming. There's a
Yeah.
lot, there's a lot more of that coming.
What is
Poor.
Waymo? Does Waymo stand for something?
I don't,
Waymo
I don't
better?
know.
Is it? It's way more something. Or
I
do
don't
you?
know.
It sounds like an acronym. What is a Waymo?
Wait, I think it is an acronym for something. Let's get Horatio in here.
Yeah. Why is he not here? He's late for class. That's nice, sir. That's nice. The color's nice. That makes me tense for some reason. Why is that? Hey, Raj. Uh-oh. He's out on a bounty. He's bounty hunting again. He's out
Yep,
trying to pick someone up.
You
You
can't
got a
joke about
perp
that.
in the
I'm
back
bounty
seat,
hunting
Raj?
again.
You can't joke about that these days.
Horatio Sanz, bounty
Horatio
hunter.
joined the other side. I'm in the
It's
country.
just for ICE. It's just I'm an associate ICE officer. I'm not full MAGA.
Just make a little cash. Just make a little
Mm,
money, man.
yeah, I went to a meeting and they were like, "Hell yeah, they're hiring everybody, man. Let's go." And like, all right,
You should say you're doing it. You're doing it for. I'm just doing it for research. I'm just I figured there's gonna be a movie about this somewhere down the line. So
well, yeah, people need to know. People need to know that no matter what, people shouldn't be coming into this country illegally. And they told me that they would let me get white people, but that hasn't come up yet. I feel like maybe
it's
I've
not
been
going.
bamboozled.
It's not going to.
No, it's not.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going great. I'm just shooting people with rubber bullet. I shot the lady in the ass with a rubber bullet. I'm not happy about it.
Who hired you? Stephen Miller?
No, like a Henderson Independence Council,
Oh no.
the Greater
That
Las Vegas
sounds so
Independence
right wing.
Council.
Oh no. These are
Oh
guys
yeah,
who
I've been
used to be Tea
deputized and everything.
Partiers.
I got deputized like in 4 seconds.
Mm. They like to rush people through.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want. Yeah, there's a lot of people that want to help out.
Or
Yeah.
jamming through, as they say in politics. Got jammed through.
It's all hands
Yeah.
on deck, man.
I, t-
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling I
Hmm?
was telling Delaney, I would have been on your side, man. So I saw those Waymos burning, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm about. Burn the Waymos.
Yeah, I mean, no one's getting hurt.
That's right.
Uh,
Let's get the war on robots started quick. I think this is what this is really about. Let's start that and get it over with, and beat those fuckers to death. beat the shit out of those things. I mean,
we
I
got
see
to
those
kill them
things.
all because
Yeah,
right now you go in a grocery store, you can't even check out anymore. Some stores don't even have a checkout; they just have machines, robots.
I
I mean,
wanted to.
enough's enough, man.
I wanted to say this a long
Enough's
time before
enough.
I saw those Waymos burning. Have you seen those things in West Hollywood? Those like baskets that are
Yeah,
walking
those
around.
walking, those little R2D2 things.
Is there
Yeah,
anybody in the world that doesn't want to like knock those things over? Like I want to kick them over so bad.
What is it? Is it like that
They're
I
robot
want
like
to
guy that
bust.
used to run
robots.
around the Stop and Shop?
I want to bust them open and take that lunch.
They're delivering. They're these like delivery things. They're like these things baskets, and a lot of them are in West Hollywood, and you'll just see them like rolling around the sidewalk, and people are like courteous to them. They like to get out of the way. Like they see them going by,
Yeah,
and people just like get out of the way. I'm like, fuck those things, man. I'm fucking kicking some fucking robot. It's not real.
You know, you know how Han Solo hates. You know how Han Solo hates droids. He treats them like shit. He
Yeah,
just hates them. He doesn't
they
give them
don't.
any respect. And then when they get to the bar, they're like, "We don't want their kind here."
Let's
I
let's
didn't
get.
know it, but I have that attitude about robots because when I went in the Stop and Shop, they got this big useless box robot that just roams around the store, getting in people's way. It doesn't do anything. It's not
Get the fuck
delivering
out of here.
anything.
Fuck
So
out
I
of
always
here.
hit it
it's
because
making
I
sure no
bumped
one's
the
stealing.
store.
Probably.
I always bump into it just to make
Yeah,
sure it knew it hit somebody because it's so useless.
good. Yeah, it's not used. It's probably
It's
Um,
probably there so people
gathering
don't
data.
steal. Is that what it's for?
We're gathering data on us. Getting all our
See
shopping
how
habits
fat
and
we are.
shit.
they're gathering.
Fat lady is now passing up the yogurt. We must make the yogurt more satisfying for the obese.
These things don't have souls. Fuck them.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not
but that's
yet.
somebody's property. That's someone else's property. So can't. So the streets are going to be. That means in 25 whatever years, the streets are going to be fucking swarming with those things. They're going to have their own lane.
Remember they said that we were gonna have those deliveries from the little plane thingies. What do you call them? The
From the drones.
drones. What happened
Uh
to
huh.
that?
There are
They must have
some.
started getting blown out of the sky.
They're using
There
them
are.
mostly
People
for
must have just
war
been
right
shooting at
now.
them.
Well, that's the thing. It's like people were, had like, as soon as they started talking about it, people invented nets to catch them.
Right, right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. People had already invented nets before the things had even started. Like, I got my net to catch those
People are
fucking
all,
things.
yeah. People are always fucking getting ready. People are always one step ahead. The crime is always one step ahead of law.
It is.
Like they always have to play catch up.
Like those bird
Because
scooters. Like that guy, whoever came up with the idea of having those bird scooters, like, oh, we're just gonna have them, like this, like it's gonna be the way
yeah,
society should be. You just pick it up, you pay for it, while you're doing it or after you're done, but you just get a scooter. It's just and the thing was like those things were like trash everywhere. People started throwing them in the river, and
Yeah, we have them now.
they're gone. They're gone now.
Oh
Now it's
yeah,
I
got to be
used
like,
one. I used one of those. Um, Getting home from a night of partying,
really?
and yeah, so I was like driving through Los Angeles at like 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., just going on, going like 20 miles an hour. But it was actually great, and it started going up the hill, and then it died out. It couldn't handle it anymore, but it got
oh
me
really?
there. Hmm.
I
Oh, so it got you over to Echo Park?
Yeah, right before you go up, it
Yeah,
couldn't
right
handle
before you go. What's that street?
the steep
Mm.
Echo Park Boulevard.
I think they still might have them in Chicago because I was using them a lot a few years ago. And I would use it like every day because I didn't feel like walking all the way from a train station to Second City. But
Yeah,
there's some places that they can't go, like on the High Line in Chicago. There's a High Line now, and they don't want them on there. You can just run or walk on it. So if you try to
That
take it
makes
on the High
sense.
Line, it just stops. The thing just
a
dies.
High Line like the New York High Line.
Yeah, yeah. There's one in Chicago now. It goes from
I
I
did
can't
not
even
know that.
I can't even really describe like where it goes, but it goes like down. It goes from what it ends in where's the neighborhood I lived in? Uh,
Oh, you probably lived in Second City neighborhood or no?
no, when I lived like on Shakespeare, uh, down Western.
The first time I ever saw the automatically locking shopping cart was in Los Angeles. We go to the Whole Foods, and I parked a little far away over by the Chinese restaurant. You try to get off the Whole Foods sidewalk, and locks up. So you have your little mini shopping cart accident. You're like, what the fuck's going on? I must have run over something. Naively, I'm checking the tires to see what I ran over. And I'm like, no, the bastards put a collar on me. They
Ha
don't
ha,
trust me.
homeless.
I'm
Yeah.
on probation. This card is on probation only.
There's somebody watching that just laughing. Just made his whole day of like not letting homeless people take shopping carts out of the parking lot.
That definitely makes somebody's day. I see a lot of those videos where they put out
Well,
these.
I'm glad you're not homeless anymore, Delaney.
Thank you. I needed that
I'm really
carts and
glad.
time too, boy. Boy, I needed
Yeah,
it.
you're collecting catalytic converters. Collecting.
Even though I was living out of a grocery cart, I still had a paper bag of groceries with leaves sticking out of it and a loaf of French bread. It's the standard. You will never see a paper bag of groceries in a movie that does not have a loaf of Italian or French bread sticking out of it.
I always liked Louis
A
C.K.'s
baguette.
imagery of dicks of eat a dick. It's like you have like baguettes in a bag. You eat a bag of
Is that
dicks,
what it means? Is that what it symbolizes?
tossing them out to people. I don't know. Eat a bag of dicks. Here you go, one for you.
All right. I've been moving to get in the shade a little bit. I'm good
Yeah,
now.
you look good. I mean, what's it like in Henderson? Well, you said you're getting rid of the
Las
undesirables.
Vegas. Yeah. Las
Cleaning
Vegas is
cleaning it
100
up.
right now. Yep.
Wow.
100.
100.
Wow. Wow.
It's going to be 80 today, and we're all crying.
Well, you got the humidity too, don't you? Is it sticky?
Nah.
No,
Well, it is. It's a little humid. We're a we're on the water. We're on the Long Island Sound, so there's a lot of humidity in the air.
Yes, it is here too.
in San Diego
Yeah.
area.
Is it?
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's
pretty
dry in
Yeah.
humid.
Los Angeles. Very
Yeah, well,
dry.
I'm right. Yeah, well, right by the water. It's just it's June anyway, so it's always pretty humid around this time. It's always like gloomy in the morning. It's kind of a little bit drier today, but it has been. It's like snails everywhere. I mean, like old timey classic snails, like ones with the shell, with the big shell in the back and the curly, yeah, and the
And
things, the ears, crazy. As you see them, like man, I ain't a top hat, no.
Mhm.
Spats. Well, good day to you, sir.
You ever see one of these beautiful things? Hold on. See
Yeah,
that?
he's got it's suspense now.
That's me.
Your tray?
What are we looking at?
Yeah, my tray,
Oh, Raj has
my
this
serving
eating
tray.
tray thing. He's got like his own like
This
airplane
is my
tray
fast food tray.
that he whips out in the
How do you do
car
that
when
when
he's
you're
eating.
driving?
I don't do it when I'm driving. I usually
No, it's
that would be
it's
hard
drive
because
through.
it moves with the wheel.
Oh,
You
it
know?
connects to the steering wheel. Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
see. I
if
see.
he were to go to the In and Out and get an In and Out burger at the takeout, then he'd pull over and it's got this tray, this pull out tray. Very
Jerry, you
luxurious.
got
I,
some. the program is just following my face, so anytime I try to shoot the thing, it's just going up to my face. But whatever, I don't need it anymore. But I just want to talk about.
Raisin.
I just
Hey,
Raisin's back
Raisin.
there. What's up, boy?
All right.
Ow!
No.
There he is.
He'll
There's
howl.
Raisin
If
back
you
there.
howl, he will always howl. He'll always join in. 100% of the time.
Ow!
I mean,
Ow! Ow!
I can see us
He
just
is
slowly. Oh no, we're gaining
programmed.
viewers. We're gaining viewers. Oh, dog. They're all
Good.
dogs.
He's programmed to. Oh, everyone's dogs are clicking yes. Raisin is programmed to join in whenever that happens, especially if Raj does it, because Raj is his boss. And if the boss says it's time to howl, you howl.
I know, but he's too excited. His little throat couldn't howl.
Oh,
Come on, boy.
no, we heard him.
Yeah.
He
See, he goes. He's too excited. Anyway.
He started
See
choking.
that dog? You cruel to that dog.
He's an excitable
He's like-
boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He's There he is.
So, Raj,
Good dog.
just to clear it up for all of us, are you in your car for
Yeah.
Wi-Fi purposes?
Yes. Driving
You're not on
around,
the
I
Milky
found
Way.
driving around. No, driving around is easier than is better internet than just sitting in my house.
Now
And
you think?
also, but today I usually sit in the garage, and it's like and so it's like 120 degrees in the garage. So I don't have AC in the garage. I mean, I do, but it's an old one, and I don't know what the hell I'm blowing in the house or in the garage. I'll
Now,
give it a
did
try.
you talk to the
It's time to stop.
Wi-Fi guy? Did you give the Wi-Fi people a piece of your mind?
Not yet. I'll probably do that though, because today I finally called up Cars for Kids to take my old car.
Oh man, I should have told
So
you.
I'm trying
Now,
to
don't do that. You know
Are they swindlers?
Too late.
it's a cult.
Oh no! Well, that song on its own is like a blight to mankind.
I think there's two of them too. There's two.
I
Different
know.
ones.
The lady was like, "How did you hear about us?" I'm like, "How do you not hear about you fucking assholes?
I'm serious radio.
You're not every 30 seconds on radio, any radio, yeah, Sirius or terrestrial."
That
No,
droning,
Jerry,
that droning
I
song.
can't begin to describe the depth of my hatred for that song. And anytime it comes on, how fast I move to the channel changer. And if I can't change it for some reason, it just hits me. It just makes me angry. You say they're cultists?
Yes. Yes. It's
What's
a.
their thing?
They are cars for cults. It's
Cars
it's
for cults.
it's. Do you know what Jews for Jesus is?
Yeah,
It's though.
I've heard of them. I don't know the depth of it. I remember hearing about them in the 70s.
Right. Yeah, because they would be on the street, right, and like handing out pamphlets and stuff. It's
They
Jews.
made themselves known.
Yeah, well, they're like a cult, and the Cars for Kids is like one of their
Oh, is that one of their
front groups,
profiteering arms?
Yeah. Yes.
Are they going to try to profiteer off me?
Well, they already
Looks
have.
like they
my friend.
already did.
No, but I don't mind giving my car to a cult if they're just going to get it off my property.
Right.
Well, I've always had that arrangement with tow truck drivers that my car would get to a certain point that it became so undrivable and unfixable that no one wanted it. But you make this arrangement with the tow truck guy that they'll tow it for you for free if you just give up the car. All my cars have just been towed away for just because they're only worth the price of a tow. So they're like, all right, we'll get it out of here for you.
Okay, it's not.
They said a
It's
local tow truck company is going to call me to arrange a pickup.
and it's not Jews for Jesus. It's URA, which is a
What's
Jewish.
Ura?
It's a Jewish Orthodox organization.
Oh.
So I think people
1877 cars for
cars for
Palestine.
kids.
1877 bombs for Palestine. What?
Raj, I say screw them. I say you airlift the car into Palestine. It still runs. You get it in there.
It doesn't.
Well, they could fix
They're
it.
gonna
They could
sell
use
my
it
car.
for
They're gonna
parts.
sell my car for parts, and then they're gonna buy weapons, man. They're gonna buy drones.
They'll
What
fashion
the
weapons out of your car piece by piece.
hell? What have I gotten into?
Yeah, Lisa Ann for vice president says all the proceeds go directly to URA. Yeah, that's a Orthodox Jewish organization. I think that's part of the criticism is that they don't say that it sounds like it's going to all kids, but it's
Right.
going directly to those kids. Yeah.
So,
What do the kids get?
so are the
Kids
cars
ain't getting
going to
shit.
kids? They just happen to be Orthodox children. Well, I have no problem with that. The money happens to be going to Jesus, as long as that's a worthy organization. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, there are some, Orthodox organizations I think that, that are considered more cultic than other ones, especially the ones that have like that are really closed off, or Rebbe, that tells them what to do. And there's other ones that are bigger, um, so, yeah.
It is a very closed society, but a lot of people leave it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they can all be different too. It all depends on. A lot of times, it depends on your rebbe. It depends on the rabbi or in your group and how their rules and what they allow you to do. So.
It's a bunch of bullshit there, Mike.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's what I have to say.
Basically, I'm giving my car to a fucking bullshit organization. Gonna try to tell people they can't fucking show their hair or some crap.
It's
Yeah.
always something like that. Like
Cults are always so fucked. I mean,
we're doing. I
can't
know
even get started. But
we're getting everybody off drugs, or stuff like that, or it's for the youth. It's like it is some weird, like, yeah, all the money's going to their weird thing.
the other night, I was in the riots the other night.
Oh, you're in L.A. or we're doing something
I
in
was.
Vegas? Uh-huh.
I was in LA. I went and saw my doctor, did some stuff, checkup stuff, and so I drove in, and then we went to Escondida, which Escondida, is right in the middle of. It's
So
right in
downtown.
Skid Row, I think. It's Skid Row adjacent, I think.
So he's one of
Or
those people
either
that
one. It
are,
might
like,
be
right
Skid Row.
across the street.
yeah, I guess the people are down there are like really hurting because there's a curfew, so like the bars have to close. But some of them are just like, we're just gonna stay
That's
open.
right.
Fuck it.
That's right. I was gonna have a little party last night, but the bars were closed. So I invited, Walsh and Brad. It
So
was
you
gonna be
guys
a nice
speak
old
easy
time.
today?
But no, well, what happened was that I went the night before and I saw the riots and I saw and it was people. It was kind of exciting because we're locked in a parking lot, and then you just see people running past the fucking street, like they're running away from
Whoa.
cops. Then you see the cops show up, and then there's like these little fires set. Someone just starts these little fires.
Yeah,
Just
But the
little
problem, so I
fires.
could
every day in L.A.
just little ones, yeah.
Every day in L.A.
Homeless
somebody's
people
lighting
just
a
set,
fire. They set fires all the
yeah.
time.
Who's
So
face?
What's that?
so what happened was my friend couldn't go
It was
west.
a reference not worth it.
Oh, yeah. Ratio.
Sorry, Raj.
My friend couldn't drive. My friend couldn't drive me because the streets were all blocked to go west, and I'm staying in like Silver Lake. I was.
Uh-huh.
And so he kept trying to say, let's just go to my house. But he lives like a fucking half hour outside LA. So I'm like, nah. I got all my stuff is in the hotel room. And
So you got
anyway,
the
so
scooter again, right? Meh.
no, so I figured I'd get something. I figured I'd get a scooter, or Uber, or cab, or something. What ends up happening is there's no Uber because I don't have a phone. There's no, and they probably wouldn't even come if I did have a phone because
Wouldn't
streets
come
were
down
getting
there.
blocked off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can get a
What
Waymo
happened to your
Uber.
so
phone?
Uber. One of the Waymo
I
ones, you
couldn't
get
find,
charged.
I couldn't order anything. And of course there's just absolutely no cabs, no people on the street. So I'm walking like over that crazy bridge that goes to like on near the train station. And I'm
The
going all over walking over these bridges. I'm walking in these weird like
Shit.
industrial areas where homeless people are in little pockets.
uh-huh.
And it took me 2.5 hours to get back from
You
just
walked?
walking.
You walked all the
I
way from
walked all the way
downtown?
back.
Oh man. Yeah, people are
Yeah,
saying that. We're like, I didn't understand that. But they were like, yeah, I'm not in a protester. I'm stuck. I'm trying to get home. And I didn't realize like, oh yeah, it was streets. If you were walking, stuff was blocked off. You couldn't get like probably couldn't get back to your car if it was blocked off. You know.
yeah. No, you saw some girl tried to get to her apartment and she got shot in the stomach with a rubber bullet. Like she's
Oh,
trying to be like, I just want to get into my apartment. Like back off. Like but I live right there. Ah! They shot her in the stomach. A young girl, like 25-year-old girl.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So and the riots, it's not protesters, of course. It's just people that come out, gangbangers, and people that want to fuck around,
Oh, there's so many.
throw shit,
There's so many
throw
street
shit
people
off
in
the
LA.
overpass.
There's so many street people in LA that can't wait. I mean, I don't know if people remember when they opened that new bridge and all the bullshit that was happening on the bridge. Just opening the bridge in LA. I mean,
Yeah,
people don't understand like LA. Like when OJ was on the run, they don't remember that like all of LA was outside watching. All the people were outside cheering. It's a crazy
yeah, they're
city.
on the over. Yeah, they're at the edges of the expressway, over the overpasses.
His
it's like Escape
whole
Like
from
the whole
LA
thing.
world.
run,
Yeah.
OJ, run.
The whole trace. There were people outside. Like the whole thing, even out in Brentwood. Even there. Fucking people are nuts.
So that's just an insane population of
It's so huge and so
underworld
big.
people just waiting.
Well, think
There's
about
a whole
this. Remember when Michael Jackson was on trial? All the people that were outside.
yes,
That's
yeah.
what LA is.
And the thing
Those
is,
people.
those people traveled an hour up to because that was in Santa Rosa. That wasn't even close to LA.
Yeah,
They traveled an hour up there to go up there to stand outside to act crazy at Michael Jackson's trial.
Is
to
this
cry at
Antifa?
Michael Jackson's trial.
Are they Antifa?
To go moonwalk.
No,
It's
this
just
is Michael
nuts.
Jackson.
No, just not Michael Jackson nuts. I mean,
No,
fans,
not the Jackson people. I'm talking the Fires people.
The
just
fire
crazy
people are
street,
homeless people.
crazy
Yeah.
street people. People live on the street.
So,
People,
and I walked up to one. I was walking down the street, and there was a little road that led. It looked like it was going into a garbage, like a tow truck area. But you could see that there was encampment there, and I walked in there, and I just stood in front of this, and there
Really, you
was a
walked into
suitcase.
an encampment. Fuck.
It was only like four. It was only like four tents. Also, I had half a fishing rod in my hand to whip anybody that came near me.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
found. I found.
that would have done a lot of damage. Whipping someone with the tip of your fishing rod.
I'm gonna actually have it in the back of my car. I'm gonna go get it and show you guys.
okay, wait a minute. I kind of missed a little bit of this. What happened?
Raj, and when he was walking home on his sojourn, when he couldn't get a cab, he decided to walk home from downtown. Happened upon a homeless encampment, and he decided to enter.
I heard all that.
Because I passed by a lot of encampments, but I was never really compelled to go in there and sit down Indian style. Sorry, sit down crisscross
Sit down,
applesauce
Yeah.
and say what's going on, fellas. Actually, I do. I do want to go talk to them, but I never do, probably out of fear.
Well, I
Problem
used
Probably.
to talk to him
hygiene.
when every kid goes through that phase where they like talk to homeless people and they think they understand the world now,
Yes. My son's going through that
right?
now, but he's actually helping them. Dad actually goes out with sandwiches and crackers and warm clothes. There's not a
He
blanket
really
left in
does
the
it.
house ever.
I
Yeah,
really,
he
He,
I,
yeah,
does.
I have to say though, it is a different animal in Los Angeles. Talking to people in New York is different in Chicago, but it's still like in LA.
We have
You,
our crazy abusive guys too. Some of these guys that Mama
yeah,
runs around doing errands for abuse him horribly, verbally.
in Chicago too, but there's still a
It
level
hasn't
of
got
like,
physical yet.
yeah, it's still a level you can deal with. You know, like LA is insanity. I mean, I think it's because of the drugs too and the nature of the drugs. Like meth just is so prevalent in the homeless community out here that I mean, it's probably gonna turn violent. It's probably
Well, I'll tell you,
it,
you really don't want it to turn violent, and here's why. I haven't spent a ton of my life in LA, maybe 2 years total, but those guys are jacked. That angry homeless guy in the corner has a six pack. They're in serious condition. They're
yeah, sure.
unbelievable conditioning. They all look like Olympic swimmers. And if
It's
they
it,
decide to rise up, they'll win because they're very in very good condition.
well, it's, people should think of a rise up because it's like a nation in LA. It really is. It's like a whole. There's a country, a full nation of people who are just on the streets. You know.
Should we go full John Carpenter and just make a region where these folks can go and give them
Yeah,
a
it's called
wall?
L.A.
and
It's
here in
called down.
Vegas,
It's
Yeah.
called downtown. It's downtown.
here here in Vegas, there's a whole city of people living down there too,
Yeah.
and they're
The
and
mole
so
people?
when yeah, so they're building a tunnel alongside the tunnel that they're building because they're building a super train from LA to Vegas.
Uh huh.
So they're tunneling. They're tunneling with small tools, but they're going to get to LA. And once that happens, then you get the homeless from Vegas and homeless to LA. That's when that's when it gets part of any of this. I don't mean any kind of racial thing, but the Planet of the Apes when they all went crazy and started rebelling.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a
And I'm not
different
saying
movie. I'm thinking of Super Train. That when they build the Super Train, somehow through a series of mishaps, it gets taken over exclusively by homeless people, and they're whipping back and forth between Vegas and LA at incredible, unheard of speeds.
Do you guys remember in that movie that was based? It was like a super bus, and it
Yeah.
and it and it and then it
Super bus.
couldn't stop.
Yeah. Super bus.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't the Keanu. Yeah, it wasn't the Keanu one, which basically Keanu just stole that idea.
Wait,
uh,
Well,
Superbus
that
came
one
first
was,
before
but the
Speed?
super bus was like going super fast though, and it was like it's on its
That's
own
the point of
road, and
Speed.
yeah,
Oh, it had its own road.
I think
it
so.
was like
Yeah.
the Love Boat. It was like the Love Boat on wheels, like
Yeah.
all these crazy, weird, like compartments, and
Yeah. Different
you know.
stories going
But it
on.
was just,
Yeah.
but it was just a bus. Yeah, and it was a comedy.
I
Yeah.
missed it.
But
But
as
it's
a
a
kid,
bus
you're
that
pretty excited about this gigantic bus that there's like, basically like
Gigantic. It's the 70s.
a beautiful,
A huge bus.
an RV that's basically the most beautiful RV you've ever seen. Giant.
I'm trying to think of comedies on the train. If there's a really great comedy on a train now, in that famous
Throw Mama from the
screenwriting book,
train.
the famous screenwriting book that everybody reads, the Sid Field book. He focuses on three movies. One of them's Chinatown. Can't remember the other one. The third is Silver Streak with I think maybe I want to say
Rich,
Jill Clayburn and Gene Wilder.
Richard
And
Pryor.
I didn't like Silver Streak. And that's one of those
he
comedies I
says,
think isn't
he
funny.
says, wait.
I don't know.
You know what's
I
funny
it,
is that you bring up Silver Streak and you think it's a Jill Clayburgh movie.
Who is it?
You're like Silver Streak starred Jill Clayburgh. I think Gene Wilder. Anyway, Jerry's like Richard Pryor.
Silver Streak has
so
so many scenes that are deadly, just deadly. Is that a Richard Pryor
Yeah.
Gene Wilder movie?
Yeah.
Well, hey,
It's a
here,
two-hander, yeah.
That's their
I
first one.
forgot. Well, he doesn't talk. Sid Field doesn't talk a lot about Richard Pryor in that one, nor have I revisited it. So, sorry,
We talks
sorry.
about the
You know,
writing, which I don't think, you know, yeah, it doesn't really
No,
yeah.
have anything to do with the
no.
casting.
Jill
He's probably
Clayburgh.
talking more about plot.
No, I just looked up the scene that he wrote about, and I thought it was just deadly unfunny. It was all tension, tension, tension. And that's what
Yeah.
all those old school guys think about is tension and then some kind of payoff.
Right.
And we don't do tension payoff anymore. We do introduce your premise maybe at the beginning and then branch off.
Well, it's kind of certain. It's for certain things though too. I mean,
Absolutely,
and
it's a movie. It's a movie.
now
Like no one was a bigger fan of the prior Gene Wilder movies than we were at the time.
you should take a look at it's the one that they go to prison. Uh,
Yeah,
Stir crazy?
Stir Crazy.
stir
Yeah.
crazy.
Those were big movies when I was growing up. That was my
Come up here,
introduction
boy.
to like
Come up here.
comedy, to like
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
to high comedy,
Come here, boy.
right, R-rated, R-rated comedy.
That was probably the best one.
Yeah.
It kept going.
We
but the prior
bad, we
movies
bad.
the prior movies all leveled out. He did some kind of hero. I think the Mad Magazine version was dumb kind of hero, and it was fine. But those weren't rewatchers. It was really his concert movies that was the comeback. I didn't think his narrative movies were great after the '70s. But
No,
those
no, he did
concert
a lot of terrible
movies were.
movies. You mean like Superman 3? Where he was scared the whole time?
Yeah. The toy.
Was that his game, being
Toy.
frightened? I thought he was a salesman. Didn't he have like? Wasn't he a kind of guy that had like stuff in his trench coat, or didn't he have a briefcase of stuff?
No, no. No, well, at first he
He
was
just did
like,
so much drugs. He had to do every movie he could.
yeah. And so
Right,
later
Reason?
on, he just kind
I
of like
remember a
became a
briefcase
correct
gag.
character. What's that?
I just thought I remembered a briefcase gag, a suitcase gag.
Is that Silver Street?
No. Trading Places?
Trading Places is a good movie. But
I love
Eddie,
Trading
that's Eddie
Places.
Murphy though.
Yeah.
Wrong guy,
No, I'm talking
Raj.
about Train. I'm going back to Train.
How dare you?
I'm going back to Train comedies. Throw Mom off the
Oh,
train.
well,
Well,
Trading
when I thought
Places,
of the
yeah,
train
it's only
scene,
the train is at the end, right?
when I thought of the train scene in Trading Places, I immediately my brain dashed somewhere else because the train sequence is the worst part. Is the worst part of the movie, and it's not really a train movie. Although there
It's
is
got
a
some
lot of
funny
scenes
jokes
of
in it.
cars.
It's got some funny jokes.
I love
mean,
Trading
yeah.
Places. I love it. I showed it to
I mean-
Milo this year. We watched it on Christmas.
The stuff with
And
their
if for
when
no
they're
other reason, Frankie and Davis.
yeah, Franklin and Davis with the monkey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jim
Jim
Belushi
Belushi as the
party.
gorilla.
Jim Belushi
That's
in
so
the gorilla
Marx
suit.
Brothers. The fact that it has a gorilla
Yep.
scene is just so Marx Brothers, old school, everything but the kitchen sink comedy.
I love Franklin and Davis. Like, oh, the gorillas, they love each other.
Love that.
Hey, aren't they both boys? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, they were progressive.
I think I remember Al Franken talking about that, and he's like, "Yeah, well, we were hired to play the stoned baggage handlers, but then we ended up being credited just as baggage handlers. So then, what's wrong with them?"
No explanation as to why they were acting that way.
Yeah, why are you like that? It's a classic Franken and Davis game. They just get into a micro argument about who gets to drive and why. It's just that's what their movie is. It's the same thing. Their little featured bit in their movie is a classic Franken and Davis micro argument.
They had to be improvised.
What movie
right?
is that?
Yeah, I think it was. We were talking about
Trading
Trading
Places.
Raj. You brought it up.
I'm still there, yeah. But what did you just say about it? That
No, it's that Franken and Davis because
Oh,
they're arguing over who's gonna drive when they look at the when they're looking at the apes, right?
that's their shot. That was their big scene, their big debut movie scene.
Well, we were helping Danny out, you know. Danny wanted us there.
Well, it was uh, Trading Places was the killer of actors directed that. What's his name? The killer of actors.
Oh,
Landis.
Landis.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Landis. Yeah.
Landis directed my two favorite movies, Animal House and Blues Brothers, back in the day.
Really, he directed some really
So
good
this,
comedies. So I don't know why
Yeah.
he had to have
yeah. So
a helicopter
I know.
smash
I
or
think he
something.
wanted to prove that he was like a cool, normal director, and he was like, we're gonna have helicopters," and it's just like he just kept saying it, get closer, get closer, and then the helicopter guy tried to. The blade hit I think, a hill, and then helicopter came plummeting down and decapitated them or cut them in half.
Smashed on him.
No, cut him in half, man. You ever watch the
Did it? The
video?
Blaze? I know
Yeah,
there's actual like it was on camera. Yeah.
the blades cut him up, and it was two kids. And the reason why everything got crazy is because they had two kids working at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Two little
Oh,
Vietnamese kids.
it was all insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a drag.
Uh,
That no, like, but that I mean, tragedies like that happen, but what more happens more often is stupid stuff like that, where people are like, "Man, they got through that. I can't believe that I just drove that car. That I was they made me they made me stunt drive a car." Or they made me jump into a pool, or whatever crazy
right.
thing that
Yeah.
that somebody had an idea on set to do.
They
The
get.
director had,
Yeah,
and
they're so horny to get the thing done that they're like, yeah, just go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
the
break the
dude,
rules to save money.
and probably whoever would have stopped him that day wasn't there that day. Like whoever from the studio would have been like, no, 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 we're not doing that. It's like he didn't show up. And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna jump out of a tree.
uh, See, because when I was little and Belushi died, I was 12, and I was really looking for the survival of those type of movies. So for me, Trading Places was like perfect because it was like Dan Aykroyd and the new kid, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
comedies
Yeah.
are these comedies are still being made.
I like 48 Hours a whole lot too. That was a rewatcher. I used to watch that one over and over. Even though it's kind of a dramedy.
Yeah,
It gets very
yeah,
dry at parts,
that's the cool part. Yeah, that's the cool part. It's kind of
but
serious
they're
at
good
parts.
actors. We just all both having Eddie and or Nolte on the screen was good stuff. And I think Jill Clayburgh was in that one too. Actually, no, it was Annette
Yeah,
O'Toole. That's who it was. It was Annette fucking
it was an
O'Toole.
O'Toole picture. Yeah.
Yep. Annette O'Toole picture with a couple other fellers in it. Nick Nolte and some other guy. Who was that?
Who played Nolte's girlfriend?
That was O'Toole.
It was.
there's another one where I guess. Oh, that sneeze, man. Oh, did I? Oh, hopefully I didn't. I didn't go off, but both of my guys got cut off. We'll try to get them back. But it looks like I'm still with everyone. How's everybody doing? Still talking to Horatio and my friend Mike Delaney. Let me go back to me. Yeah. Then I'll get these guys to call back up. I've been getting a little interruptions in my internet lately, and I'm wondering what it is. I think somebody might be sabotaging me because of my political views. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully I can get these guys to call back up, and can talk to them more. What was I talking about? Oh, So Horatio was joking about being downtown during. I want to ask him more about what it was like in L.A. Um, and yeah, it's interesting that we were talking about who's actually doing a lot of the trouble and causing a lot of trouble in L.A. and people for people to realize like that's always gonna happen in L.A. Yeah, I got them both back. All right, here we go. Hello, fellas. I think that might have been
Hello,
me
hello.
because I lost you both. So this
Yeah, you
happened to
had a
me.
little meltdown.
Happened to me
I
yesterday too.
think
Although
yeah.
I'm still online now, which is weird. Like
You,
I stayed streaming.
I saw you move, and you stepped on a switch, and then we both were off. You were like a dump switch that you hit accidentally.
I told people that I think somebody sabotaging me because of my political views, and Joanne Ware says, "What are my political views?" And I said, "Destroy all Waymos, burn those things
Well,
down, kill
also
the
destroy
robots."
cars for kids.
And Cardigan, yes.
Wamos
Or
by Whammo. The little Waymo toy is by Whammo. It's the Whammo Waymo. Watch it go.
Man, fuck those
Rip the
things, man.
cord
Those things
and
are
watch it
ridiculous. It's
go.
such a ridiculous thing to.
have
I
you
mean,
been
you get
in? First off, have you been in one?
no. I refuse to go in. And what am I? Am I getting the back of the car that nobody's driving? Okay, let's go. Nobody, get the fuck out of here. No.
No,
No,
there's a
no
hippie
driverless
somewhere in
cars.
some office in yeah, there's probably someone in Colorado who's driving he sees it all. His camera so he can see everything.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, I got you. Someone's driving it, you know. It's not just looking at lines and not hitting something, right?
No.
It's someone is controlling it from
No.
headquarters or something.
Nobody's controlling it.
What?
It's all on its
What
own.
is
It's
a
self-driving.
Waymo?
It's a self-driving car.
Okay. So they're
Yeah.
transporting like either passengers or groceries or something?
Waymos are mostly passengers. You can get them like in LA. If you call an Uber, you can get a Waymo Uber, especially like downtown if you're going downtown, and you can get a
Wow.
driverless car. There's a lot of them. I mean, I see them a lot in LA, but like not even downtown. I see them all over town. I always look
Yeah, they're
ridiculous when you see somebody in the back of the car and nobody's driving. You're like, what the fuck, man? Get out of there! Don't do that.
Really? Uh,
Doing that shit for?
no.
is it because you think it's a ghost?
It just ain't right, man. The fuck? No. Come on,
They're those
nobody.
ghost
Let's
cars.
go. Get in the back of the
But
car.
the future, we have to do these things for the future.
I know, maybe.
You know, these. Uh, I don't know how it's going to help the future, but I mean, going to
Well,
give
look,
people less jobs again.
that's not what they told us in the future. What they told us in the future it would be a robot actually driving the car. You could talk to him, you'd be like, "Where do you want to go?" And you go. It wouldn't be like the car just
Right.
Right.
nobody's driving it and you just get in.
Jerry, would you feel better if it was a droid, a guy, or a
Somebody,
woman, or
yeah,
robot, or
because
anybody, any
something
binary
I can
robot?
something I can physically damage. Yeah. if
Somebody
it
you can
gets
get
out
in
of
a fight
if it
with.
gets out of if it gets out of line.
Were you
Something
there too, Jerry?
I can kick on the way out. Smash. Thank you. No
So
problem.
I found this. Wait, so let me go back to walking through LA. I found a
Yes.
piece of a
Right.
fishing rod.
Hang on, listeners. When we left off, Raj was trying to walk home. He had no cab. He had no phone, and he happened upon a homeless encampment, and he went inside.
And
And
What
this is
happened
during this
and
is
next?
I went,
during the
During the riots,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
recent events.
it's
mini
2:30 and
riots.
it's 2 in the morning. It's like 1:30 in
Oh,
the morning. Because that's how long it took. But like it was, I would say it was like 1. And
yeah. Was this
and
the
so
first
everything was
night?
kind of dead down. And everything was locked down. We'd seen, yeah. This is the second night,
The second night. Okay.
right? Because then, yeah, the second night was no. This is the first night that they, and then the second night they closed everything down, right? So yeah, Monday.
Uh-huh.
And so so I'm walking around with this stick, and I'm like, and if I see anybody looking at me, I got this thing, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" You know, like, what's this guy doing? Is he trying to tempt us to like? Is he ice trying to tempt us? I kind of look like ice, maybe.
Are you talking about the fishing pole? Did you have a fishing pole?
I had
Is
half a
that what
fishing pole. I had the like the middle part of a fishing pole with the metal tip on it, and it was really
so it would
embedded in
just
there. So if I
sting.
whip somebody's face with
You
that,
can't you can't beat anyone with it. You could whip them and it would sting terribly.
Yeah, but
exactly, it would give me
how
enough
how
time to get away. Plus, you don't want to get your face slashed again.
how many
If
people?
they have weapons, I die.
How many
No,
how
so by the
many
time I get to the train station, this guy's like, "What's that for?" And I go, "It's my whippy stick." And he's like, "All right,"
Okay.
and I kept walking.
Whippy.
my whippy stick.
It's my whippy stick, and the guy's like, "All right," like this crazy asshole.
But you know what? Raj will pull any stick out of any garbage pile. If it looks like something that could be wielded, he'll
I
go
grew
ahead and yank it out and try to make something of it.
grew up in the
He's
city.
unafraid.
I
He's
grew up in
afraid
the
of
city
any
too,
discarded object.
dude. That was my
Yeah,
defense. Dogs. Walking home from school, man. That was my only defense. It's like
Is that the
other
Chicago
kids would
thing?
be
If you
like, just start
break off a piece
grab
of
a
I'll be
stick
right
from
back.
grab a
garbage on your way home from school? I'm in Detroit too.
start getting chased by a dog. Yeah, first thing I do is grab a stick and at least if you swing it at the dog is gonna grab that and bite it, and not you.
That's the idea. So
Yeah,
want to channel that tooth power into the stick.
I've whacked dogs on the head, man. That would fucking come at me. Jumped on top of cars, grabbed a stick and whacked the dog, and then got home. I've been up top of a car and had a dog like just circling the car and not be able to get off of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like a tiger.
yeah.
that's like an Edgar Allan Poe story where Arthur Gordon Pym's being circled by sharks.
That's never happened to me since that used to happen to me all the time. You just like walking and a stray dog, or they left their fence open and the dog just will come after you, start chasing you. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
That is messed up.
But yeah,
Yeah, like
grabbing
yeah,
a
you
stick.
when I was in Santiago, Chile as a kid, I was probably like 9, and I was walking alone, and I thought some guy was chasing me, like he'd followed me like 3 blocks, and I was like, and I just picked up the biggest rock I could find, and I just had it with me. I'm like, it's not going to be easy. You can get me, but it's not going to be
well,
easy.
I'm not making this easy for you.
Yeah, and that's Chicago. It's my Chicago upbringing.
It's mine too. No, I was a weaponer too. Whenever I got in a fight, I would always grab a rock or stick or a golf club.
Well,
Yeah, there was this motorcycle shop in my neighborhood, and they'd always leave out these like lethal metal parts, and it was just this super long, super fucking heavy chrome pipe, and then we put some gears on it, like pounded them in with like a hammer, so they went into the end of this chrome pipe, and it had this giant fucking gear. It was like so road warriors. We were all road warrioring it with these fucking things. It's like if anybody comes near us, we're gonna fuck them up with this. It was all protection.
with this
And
muffler.
this is high school. This is like pre-high school. So like we got pulled over by some cops, and they looked at it, and we had like machetes, knives, and this giant pipe. And one of the cops was like, "What the fuck's this all about?" And then the other cop goes, "Look at their license," and it showed our shitty neighborhood. And they're like, "All right, get out of here, guys.
No.
Close the trunk and let us go."
Oh my god.
gave you a gun. Oh, that's not gonna work, guys. You need this.
Yeah, we left you an unmarked gun in there, so if you need it. Go for it. You need some bullets?
Hey, here's something. Here's something that's really funny, and once again, it's more disrespect for Delaney, David Pompey, which is good to see. It's good to see a picture of him. He's got his picture on. Can you read that? It's probably too small for you to read.
Oh,
Is he blonde?
Jerry, Raj, Trey.
No, I think it's just gray dreadlocks. He's just
Oh.
long.
Oh, you look like Trey, who used to be a musical director for Touring Company.
And he does look like him too.
Yeah. Incidentally,
the Turk.
David, I think that he's going to be in town this week. Trey and his family.
In L.A. or
in Chicago. In Chicago.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
because Nunez is going to Wrigley Field, I think, with them.
Oh really? I'm going to Wrigley. God, I think it's the Marlins game. I think it's Marlins. I wonder if they play the Marlins.
That'll be really good.
It's a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna wear this.
You're gonna get gently escorted away from troublemakers.
Nothing's gonna happen. I got Cubs there. I got my Cubs stuff there in Chicago. I got like a jersey and hat.
Yeah.
I have no problem wearing it when I go there.
There's a reality show now where it's.
What is? Do you wear a jersey? Do you have a Cubs jersey?
I got a Cubs jersey with no name on it.
Oh, you got to get like Fergie on there.
I got a pinstripe one.
Ferguson Jenkins.
I can't go there. I'm like Mafia.
Come on.
I can't go there.
You guys seen that show? It's behind the scenes at the security at Major League Football games.
Whoa, what's that?
All the same scene. Every segment is exactly the same. Just somebody starting shit in the stands. They got to go down there. It's just a TV show, where you see all the footage of them going around, security dealing with people who are troublemakers.
Who's got the trashiest fans?
I don't know. I just saw one episode. I didn't even know what stadium it was. They're just completely focused on the crowd.
What channel does it come on?
I could not tell you. In this topsy-turvy world of electronics, I just saw it on the television, whipping through channels.
I was just got into a thing with my wife of like who's got the trashiest fans because I went to a Dodgers game, and they're like now they're really leaning into like L.A. But I don't
like
know.
Being safe.
No, they're really leaning into like they play like Ice Cube and Kendrick Lamar between every pitch and shit in the game they're playing.
Oh, okay.
It's like everything's it's L.A. like yeah. So you know.
He not like us. He not like us. The guy's like, come on, man. I'm just trying to fucking bat here.
Yeah, so it's all that or Cholo stuff, like they got lowriders and shit, going through the field. And,
oh yeah, they have mariachis too.
And mariachis, yeah. So like so it's really they lean heavily,
cool.
but like the fans
it
are
seems
like
like
now. It's really like it seems like really like a lot of hipsters. A lot of
they go to Dodger games?
Yeah. Well, it's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Something to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that's the population. The population is what? Hipsters and every kind of folk.
Hipster, middle lower class Hispanic people like from the neighborhood. That's the,
the people who got displaced to build the stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, well, fuck it, man. They're playing over.
The new stuff's, what are they
playing baseball over the graves of our people.
Well,
this is our graveyard, bro. This is our graveyard and our baseball.
Well, for a long time,
we're over the ruins.
the Dodgers, like you just didn't. I think like after Valenzuela, then it was like, you know what, man, this is like a part. This is the culture. This is the stadium. These are the people that like this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they started catering to it. Um, but then I was like comparing it to like the San Diego fans, and it's similar, but San Diego's got like kind of a different lower class, or lower middle class. Like there's a lot of military,
Yeah.
a lot of people live in the desert. A lot of
Gotcha. Yeah.
motorcycle kind of people. Whereas LA is more
Yeah.
like city. Here it's San
Waymo,
Diego games are more, huh?
more
What's that?
Waymo.
More. Well, there's like the beach culture, like there's a lot of that in San Diego. What's that band from Long Beach? Um,
Sublime.
Sublime. Yeah, that might as well be like that's what they teach the kids at my kids' rock school. Like they all know Sublime songs, because all the teachers were in bands like that. Like they all grew up in bands in the '90s, like
Right.
Sublime. So they're all like beach, like beach
Wait, sidetrack. Your
reggae.
kid goes to a school of rock?
Yeah,
That's great. What's his
Yeah, he
instrument?
plays drums.
drums.
Oh, fabulous.
Plays guitar a little bit, but mostly drums.
Good. Nice.
It's great. They all the kids form bands out here. They do a festival. They just had it not too long ago, and it goes from like kids who are like 10 years old all the way up to like kids who are out of high school still have their bands, but for the whole weekend the bands play. And they
That's
play like, yeah,
amazing.
and the covers are usually like, it's all '90s '90s rock because all the teachers like played that. Yeah.
That song, that movie School of Rock is actually a pretty good movie. It's a good family movie. And KG said that Jack Black stole all that shit that he plays in the movie. He got it all
He
from
taught him.
Kyle.
He taught him how to play
Yeah.
guitar. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He got it from who?
Kyle Gass.
KG.
He taught Jack Black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were in this. I think they were in an acting group, some acting company. I think it was called the Actors Gang, something like that.
Yeah, it's Tim
Mm-hmm.
Robbins. Tim Robbins had this thing,
Right.
it's kind of actors collective theater in LA.
Right.
And yeah, they were
Oh,
both in it.
that that's the first time I saw Jack Black was in that movie, that Tim Robbins movie. What was that? He
Yeah,
played a politician.
where he's running for president. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of actors gang people are in that.
Bob
Um
Roberts.
Bob Roberts, yeah. I'm trying to think of some other actors gang people. Um
Is that still a thing?
you know what? I don't think so. They had a space in LA for a while. They were doing stuff, but I don't think it's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Tim Robbins was a big, like he was the main like energy behind it, and I don't think he's doing it anymore.
Well, everything they do in a Tenacious D song is done on a mythical scale. So they do tell the tale of Tenacious D in several different songs and incarnations, and he always gives it up for KG as having, taken him under his wing, and taught JB the secrets of the craft and all these things. But since all their songs are on a mythical scale, you don't really take it literally, which it was
No,
literally.
no, really was like he really did teach him how to play guitar. Yeah.
I first saw those guys at the music night. There was one comedy night where it was all musical bits over at Catch a Rising Star. You remember when it was Catty Corner from the UCB on Eighth on
Oh
over
yeah.
there
Uh huh.
under Gristides?
Yeah.
And I saw them do a couple songs. They did that History of Tenacious D song.
Uh huh.
Uh, and I was just blown away. I was like, "Whoa!" They looked vaguely familiar. I thought I saw Jack Black. I think I probably recognized him from that Bob Roberts movie and something. I think he had started up on Mr. Show by that point too.
Yeah, it was
And
around
I
doing
was
the
like,
same, doing a lot of that stuff. think Sarah might have been did some actress gang stuff. Somebody said the Pivens were an actors gang.
Oh,
Um,
really? The Pippins, but they're so Chicago.
Chicago,
What?
yeah, it might when they came out here. I feel like because I get a lot of people from that mixed up with like people who did Groundlings too, and there might have been people who
We've
did
gone
both.
black and white. Raj left and
Yeah,
we've gone black and white. It's like a
yeah, one
flashback.
time.
Say, listen, this Horatio fella. I want to bump him from the podcast. See, Jerry, it'll be me and you, just the two of us. Think it over. Don't tell him I said that.
I wish I had some '50s music. So people would be like, "What's going on?"
Guada, guada.
So, so podcast
Um,
from the vaults.
he probably had to repark.
I would imagine so.
Maybe he might have got routed
Or his
out of his
phone.
parking spot by the man.
And if you are in line that long too, your phone is like getting probably really hot. I would imagine, especially
And his car is going to get hot. He's
in
sitting
that
there with
heat.
his car idling in his car. You can't do
I
that
mean,
in a car for 2 hours. I mean, it's a new car, but
that's
you
what people
shouldn't
do
idle
in
in your car for 2 hours in 100 degrees.
that's what people do in Vegas.
He needs to find a better hotspot. He's got to go. He's got to go broadcast from some quiet corner in a mall or something.
A library,
Vegas is a pretty crazy place. He should go to a casino. He'll get good Wi-Fi. He can sit in a nice corner.
casino.
Jack
He
Black
should
and
go to
all.
casino. They'll probably kick him out though.
Oh, the one about the Chicago record store. Yes. What was that?
Chicago Records. That's something called some of the
Somebody
records.
somebody commented about Jack Black and Tim Robbins in
No,
the
no.
Cusack film.
Is it a
Cusack
movie?
got his thumbs all in the choices of the music in that one.
Yeah. Well, that was a
What was
famous.
that called?
I forget. It's a book too.
That was a kind of a coming out movie for a lot of people. For Jack Black, that was like a mainstream movie that kind of introduced him to a lot of people.
To
Oh
Jack
yeah,
Black.
that was a very Chicago movie, super Chicago centric movie. I mean, some
Yes.
movies are set somewhere, and then there's certain movies where
It's been.
the city is like an extra, is like another character. It's like a secondary character in the film.
Yeah, it's one of those movies because it's weird. It's been remade. Yeah, the book was set in London. They set the movie in Chicago, and it's been remade. High fidelity. Thank you, Joanne. Uh,
Of course, High Fidelity.
yeah, and that author was like really hot at the time, um, during the late '90s, and it's been remade. Now it's been with Zoe Kravitz, and I think
Oh, they're remaking it.
it got remade into a television show, from what I think. Right? Not just a movie. I think it was a Netflix show. Anyway, um, yeah, I almost did a movie with Jack Black. Real close. If you ever seen Be Kind Rewind by
Yes,
so I was in New York. I was working for
I liked Be Kind Rewind. I liked it. I thought it was good.
do you like
Michel Gondry.
Michel Gondry?
Oui.
So I was in New York. I think I was working with Michael Moore. I was doing Michael Moore's show. And my manager was like, "Hey, Michel Gondry wants to meet you. If you're in New York, you're in New York now. He's there, and he's got this movie. He's got an idea for. He wants to talk to you about it." So I met him at this French restaurant, and he's like ate this like terrible French food. That I was like, I'm not eating any of that. It's like completely French. Like he's completely he's a French person. Like
What?
he doesn't know English that well. He was a met him yeah, some French restaurant on the west side. He told me about the movie, gave me a script. It was that movie Be Kind Rewinds with Jack Black. Jack Black was
Were you up for
already
the most deaf part?
yeah, Jack
Damn.
Black was already cast, and they wanted me to do it. So I took the script home. I was just like, yeah, definitely, I'll do it, whatever. And
Yes,
it got all the way.
please.
I was doing. I forgot what else I was doing, but it came down to them sending a tape to the head of the studio.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
and I was
always
just
the
like,
death knell.
well, at
Fuck
that
it.
point, I wasn't into doing. I was just like, man, if I gotta like audition with something that I can't, I'm not even auditioning with. Can I just audition with the script? Like, can I do? Can I do the script? And I think I was on my way to do another movie or something, so they didn't have time to audition, and for whatever reason, they didn't want to wait. And yeah, I didn't get cast. They cast Most Def.
Wah, wah.
Yeah,
That's the biz. That's showbiz.
that is showbiz.
Most Def is a bigger name than you, Jerry.
At the time, I mean, he definitely was a bigger name than me, but he wasn't that. Well, I guess he was. I guess at the time, yeah, he was doing like a little bit more acting uh, than he was music. As like not long before that, I met him when I was doing the Martin Short show, and I came up to him in the hallway, and I was just like, oh, I was a big fan. I got his album. I was like, oh, I'm a big fan of the album, and he just handed me a CD, and I was just like, I already have this. Like I work here. I'm not just a fan. I work here, but all right. No, like I already had the CD. Like, but thanks, but he was being
Yeah.
nice too. But that was his way of being nice. But he was just like handing CDs out. I'm like, all right. But then yeah, then he fucking got the part that I was that I wanted to.
Got scooped.
Got scooped. Yeah,
What part was it?
it was that
I missed.
Michelle Gange. It was this part in Michelle Gondry movie, Be Kind, Rewind. It was with Jack Black.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Um, really fun movie.
But it's you didn't get that part.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a
Eh.
weird movie. I mean, I got it in that like they were
Michelle
like kids, but yeah. What'd you say, Raj?
Michelle Gondry.
Yes.
What do you
Very
think of
cool guy.
Michelle Gondry?
Yes,
Oh,
but
yeah,
of course Gondry. One mustn't forget Gondry.
I love him. I mean, he was a big fan of Mr. Show. He loved it. I was just like, how did you even understand it? He's like, well, I can hear it in English better than I can speak it.
Oh, okay.
He's like, sorry, I get it subtitled, like But yeah, he just became a big fan. I'm like, how did you even get it? He's like, well, I was in New York a lot. I come over here, and I saw it when I was here. He just became a big fan of that show.
I love French films. I watch French movies all the time, but I don't go for that tough guy stuff though as much. Where it's all that pulp stuff. I don't mind if it's tough guys, but when it gets all pulpy, it's like, nah, this is
What, like
nonsense.
Breathless?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the shit that like Quentin Tarantino is all inspired by. It's just all this
Yeah.
bang bang cops and
Don't shoot the
robbers
piano
stuff.
player.
That's a good one though. Don't shoot the piano players. Very good. Very good.
Then
I
which
like
one don't you like then?
I like French crime drama.
I'm just not into the pulp stuff. I just as much as some of the more thoughtful stuff
Oh,
that's more character driven. And I think
that's
like
because
Jules
you're
and
not a
Jim's
violent
really.
human.
I know. I don't mind movies that have violence in it, but I don't like gratuitous violence. That's my thing.
It's
I don't
just that
mind
I
yeah,
that.
the elevated violence crowds are begging for it now. They're just like it's a certain type of porn.
I love realistic violence. Like I love seeing the violence that I grew up with. Like the stuff that's in
Yeah.
like like the like the beating in Raging Bull when so Joe Pesci beats the guy when they beat the guy and they slam his head in the car door.
That looks like a real fight.
That looks like a real fight, and that's the fights that I've witnessed. That I don't know why, but they're really funny. I know it's painful, and I've seen that happen for real, and that makes me laugh
Yeah.
so hard, like the
I
over
mean,
the top,
there's
like
something sticky about it. Yeah, sometimes that terrible shit looks like funny, and it's like, oh, like yeah, like
Well,
those
yeah, when
videos
you're
that they post all the time.
now when I was a young person, I laughed at Raging Bull and Goodfellas and all that stuff.
the fight in the Godfather when Sonny beats up his
Yeah,
brother-in-law is
That one's
hilarious.
less funny. That
That's
I
fun.
didn't
He
think.
hits him. He picks up the garbage can and hits him with the garbage can.
Oh, that one. That I
Yes.
thought that's a different beating. I was thinking of a different one. That one
Yeah.
is a
No, I'm talking
little
about the
over
garbage
the.
when he beats his brother-in-law. He sees him sitting on the step and he tries to run away. That's the funniest thing ever. First, and when he sees him, he
yeah,
knows
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gonna beat him. But he tries to run and shit. He's like, come here," and the dude's like, he's got two
So
I
dudes with
good.
wasn't
him.
laughing. I was
It's
not
not gonna be
laughing.
a fight. He's got two goons with him.
Just a beating.
They're just gonna stand there and watch him beat him, beat him up.
Yeah, it's
He
not
bites
funny
him.
because it's revenge for the beating of his sister. But I
Right.
mean,
No,
it's a little funny that he's stuck and picking a trash can, biting his fingers. He's
He's
biting
biting
his
his
fingers
fingers.
with his hand on the rails.
He's trying to hold on to the rails. So he's biting his fingers to get him.
Yeah. So yeah, there's something comical about it. But that's definitely fucking the violence on Goodfellas is like when
it's
that
over
guy
the
got his head
top.
over by the Escalade. Holy fuck,
Oh,
that
you
was
mean
good.
Sopranos? Yeah, yeah. Like the curb stomping. I don't think that's not funny. Yeah, stuff like that. That's like really violent. Like that people aren't gonna like recover from easily. I don't think that is funny. Or like people getting
Well,
kicked.
you know what's really funny is we're conditioned to like be okay with other mobsters getting killed, but there's that one scene where this hothead idiot gets mad at this guy who's just delivering something, and he hits him in the head with a fucking uh, golf club, kills him, and they leave. It's like, and the guy was kind of maybe delivering something. He wasn't really a mob guy. Remember that?
Yeah,
But that
on yeah, that was Mustang Sally hit the guy on the Sopranos. I know Sopranos front and back. Yeah, so Mustang Sally was on the street arguing with his girlfriend, right? And then these
yeah,
guys just come along and they say something to him, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck!" Well, what are you looking at? What are you looking at them for? He looks at the girl. What are you looking at them for? And hits the guy with a golf club.
yeah. But
Yeah, and
And
I
it
mean,
was
it's innocent.
fatal.
Yeah, fatal. And that I was like, that's not funny
that's not funny. No, no, he
because
hits
it was
her
a
and he
No.
regular guy. There wasn't a mobster.
yeah, and he cracks him in the head. Yeah, no, yeah, it's never that kind of stuff is never funny. There was another one like there's one where when Robert Loggia was on the show for a short time, and he gets out of prison, and he sees a guy up in there. They're working on a tree, um, and he's like,
Yeah, that
"Hey, this is my cousin's block. He does the trees here." And he's like, "Man, get the fuck out of here!" And he pulls him out of the tree like he's on a rope, and the guy just like lands
yeah,
and breaks his leg, and then he beats him. Why after he lands on the ground?
yeah, yeah.
Just does beating
And
him.
Tony was like, "Yeah, just take it easy. You're welcome back. We love you, but take it easy. Don't do anything crazy." And he's like, starts right away, like taking shit. Being just an old lunatic. It's funny as hell, Robert Loggia.
He's really good in that.
Yeah, he's a good
He's
lunatic.
really old. He's really old. He's like real old. It's not like he's playing old. It's really funny. And apparently, he kind of couldn't remember his lines and stuff. So Gandolfini would
Yeah,
help him with that.
I
Yeah,
was just looking at the whatever the DVD the commentary DVD commentary, and they were talking about Melogio. He was getting I think he died of dementia actually, but it was starting
No.
to
hmm
no.
No, I'm just saying it was
Oh,
just an exclamation.
Oh yeah,
of
no, and
unhappiness.
it was starting to take hold then. He was like having a hard time remembering his lines. It's really quick because he was really good in it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yep, that's the final thing that gets you. Norm Macdonald said when he was working with Jack Warden on his show, on his TV show, Jack Warden would come down and they got their scene together. He'd sit down next to him and go, Norm, Norm, Normie, Normie, Normie. They go, yeah, yeah, you don't know your line there, do you, Jack? He'd say, no, I don't, I don't know. No,
Yep.
no, no, no.
I don't want to say the guy's name. I don't think I can remember it, but I think it's. I don't want to say the name because it's a little embarrassing. But a guy, a guy who was a little older, like when we were in our 40s. Let's say he was probably like 55 and doing sitcoms and stuff, and he had a show, and uh, and Eddie knew a guy on it. And Fast Eddie from New York, and he's all about, hey
Mm-hmm.
yo, do. So he said that he couldn't remember his lines, and someone was like, "Hey, maybe you should learn your lines," like joking, and he's like, "You motherfucker," and he had like a breakdown.
Oh, no.
It might even been more innocuous than that, Like I don't think it was learn your lines, something even less than that. He fucking lost it, and they couldn't. The show got canceled because the guy couldn't fucking remember anything.
yeah.
I mean, whatever. The pilot. It's probably a pilot.
Hey,
Raj,
there's
that
actors that I've
reminds
worked
me of
with.
Raj.
Uh,
That
uh,
reminds me when you were doing Don Quixote, and they for USC. It was their first feature film at USC. They'd only done shorts up until then. So you got cast as
Yeah.
Sancho Panza, and I was in it. I was around, and I got a small part, and we did some work on the script, and they asked us to come in and speak to the cast and crew a little bit about improvisation because they wanted to have a little improvisational factor in the movie. And I did a little speech about improv. Me and Raj, I did most of the talking. And by the time we were done, by the next morning, the guy playing Quixote resigned. He's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh,
He was
I
that
felt
guy.
so
Yeah.
bad. I felt so
He was.
bad. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it was an
Yeah.
impossible dream after all.
Yeah, it was too much. Too much. Was it because he couldn't remember? Because he had
No,
trouble
he just didn't
remember.
want to
Like
do
he
it.
couldn't improvise.
He, no, he didn't want to whatever it was. My rousing speech got me a job as not a job. It's a non-paying thing, but for the last 10 years since then, I've been a mentor at USC. They have this mentor program where just students and they're graduating, they talk to somebody in the biz about stuff. So for people who want to get into comedy, sometimes they call me. Um, because of who's the guy, the producer? His name escaping me at this moment. I can't believe it.
Yes, I,
John
I can't
Watson.
remember anything.
Anyway,
I'm like Robert Loggia.
Horatio was a well after that the Quixote, the guy playing Quixote, after he quit, uh, um, you got Carmen as your Don, and Carmen was great.
Oh my god, I don't remember. I don't remember the other one.
Well, because
Who's
he
gonna
barely
play?
got started. He was very gaunt. He looked more the role because he was very gaunt and skinny. And Carmen was actually pretty. He had a decent build, but Carmen was a better Don.
Carmen. Uh, what's his name?
I don't
Artigia.
remember.
Shit, we'll find it. But he was a very nice guy, super nice guy. Passed
Yep.
away.
He
Rest in
did
peace.
since then. Great guy, great guy. He was in his armor. Then they had him in this van. I'm in the van waiting. They load Carmen into the back of the van because he's in armor, and he's like, oh, and I'm just sitting there reading the book, and he goes, oh, Michael. It was like, no, no, no. He's like, oh, Michael, what a smart people read, Michael. He was a great guy.
He's real.
That's a great
Uh,
character.
Such a
Great
nice way to
actor.
ask someone what they're reading. What do smart people read? What have you got there? It was actually a. It was the electric Kool-Aid acid test. What about Ken Kesey and his Merry
Oh yeah.
Pranksters?
Okay. Uh huh. Uh huh.
These are just happy LA memories. Got on the Quixote jag.
Um.
Uh,
Yeah, we were talking about old actors too. I was
God,
gonna
I'm
say I've
forgetting
worked
their
with some
lines.
people like 10 years ago and forgetting their lines. 10 years ago, who I was like, they're done, man. They can't even get through it, and they're still working like old people.
yeah,
They I love working with old people, and I love elderly people. They brought in lots of old people to work at Conan. Their favorite
Oh right,
elderly
yeah,
person was Lee.
that-
Lee. She was beloved. She must have gone in hundreds of times. One time, and McCann loved Lee, especially to the point, the comfort point, where he once had them nail her door shut. She was supposed to say a line and then exit, and they go through the door. And McCann told them to nail the door shut. So when Lee tried to exit, she was trapped. She was trapped on stage. The other one was when they sent Lee. The gag was, I think it was they were bringing back the sisters who sang "Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy" from Company B, and they sang it and they did it in rehearsal. They got their cue cards. They all sing "Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy," and for live, take away the cue cards. What a mess! What a hot mess!
oh no.
Watching these three women trying to muddle through
Tricking old
"Boogie
people.
Woogie Bugle Boy" because they did the whole in rehearsal. They did the whole verse. That's worse than having the door nailed shut. Being
Yeah.
left hanging there with no cue cards. You
I
don't know.
wrote
No one knows the
I wrote
words.
a I wrote a scene for Nick Swardson's show, and it was cat food for old people. So
Oh God.
instead of eating like the thing with like the only difference was it had a label on it. It was like Friskies and it had old people on it. So it's just you're gonna eat this anyway, so just make it more you know more respectful when you go to the grocery store and you get a can of dog food with old people on it.
This
And
is
so
a
then
Johnny
we
Guerrero
had to
bit.
shoot this.
Johnny.
So we had these old people eating it. They were eating it and messing up their lines and like they couldn't get it right. And Janice was directing it, and he's like, "Eat, eat!" Oh my God, Jesus Christ, these are human beings.
It's brutal.
We got part of it too is that the old people had to get on the floor, and it was like, "Are you healthy enough to get on the floor? Because we want you to, eat like a cat." Like one of the old people are eating on the floor, and then the wife says, "Just uh, just because you eat cat food doesn't mean you're a cat. You have to just because you eat cat food doesn't mean you have to eat like it's cat food." No, he was on the ground like licking the bowl. So we're just torturing these old people. And I always every once in a while I go back to Janice and I'm like, eat, eat. She's so frustrated.
You don't have to eat
Crawl
off the.
around on the floor too. Listen, you signed and said you were healthy enough to crawl on the floor and eat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You said it.
This is comedy. This is comedy special. You know what I mean? We're not gonna get any lawsuits.
Wait a minute. You were talking about Twilight Zone, and when they push actors too far, get this. They bring in this elderly woman at Conan to do a bit, and you know how freezing it is in those studios. And she was supposed to come in, I think, as like maybe as like I don't know, maybe a vagrant. Anyway, she was barefoot, whatever the issue is. She's out there, she's on deck, she's barefoot, going through rehearsal. Out for how long? Complaining how cold it is. She was dead in a week. Now maybe it
Oh
was
no!
unrelated. But I remember
Oh shit.
McCann came to me like a week later. I was in, and McCann's like, "You remember the lady we had in last week?" He's like, "She passed away." And I'm like, "Fuck." He's like, "Yeah, she was in here bare feet in the cold air conditioning." A week before Oldie Olson died, he was in there doing bits
Oldie.
out in Central
Yeah,
Park. You know,
I remember him.
I
Yeah,
see
he had
Oldie in
just
movies.
just done something.
I,
He
s-
died, right?
I see him in movies all the time.
Yeah,
He had a long career. One day,
yeah.
Richter tells this story. I can't tell it as well, but Oldie only had one eye, and he, like many actors, he'd fall asleep sometimes while waiting to do his bit. So he's in the green room. Richter's in the green room with Oldie. Oldie is asleep. Oldie's passed out. He's got his mouth open and his eyes open because he's got a glass eye and it's wide open. And Jeff Ross, producer, walks by the green room and he sees Oldie stretched out like this with his eye open. And you know what Jeff does? He just starts walking faster.
I thought he's dead.
He just kept going. This is someone else's problem.
Yeah,
There's no way I'm being the guy to discover Oldie.
it's like when I went to Chicago to do. I did an interview for the show, the channel WGN used to be this huge channel in the Midwest because it was Chicago, and it's a lot of
It
people
was the
saw it in Iowa, Ohio, blah blah blah.
Superstation. We started getting WGN in Florida, even.
Yeah, I
Yep,
think they hooked up with the cable companies, so every cable
yep,
company
Mm-hmm.
had it.
yep.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
WGN.
so I went to the studio, and the guy gave me a tour of it. And then it's like, this is the studio. I'm like, it's so tiny. Like, yeah, yeah. They made it look really big, but it's just kind of this small. And they had a big
Mm.
little piece of the top from the circuit. That's all they just had like a piece there. And then the guy showed me where the host, not the clowns, but the host, you got the ringmaster, where he died on the floor. And they kind of put a damper on the proceedings because all like your childhood. Here's where Fraser Thomas died. He had a heart attack, and it was just like next to this tiny little dressing room, and you're like, poor guy worked in television 50 years. You get this little army cot kind of dressing room, and has a heart attack and dies right outside of his door.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I know a few people have died like on set, and I'm like, oh, well, I want to die, but what I like doing, I don't know. I think I'd rather die on
Yeah,
stage. I'd rather die on stage so that it traumatizes everybody, like normal people, not just people I work with.
yeah. No, nobody
Yeah, there's
wants
a
to die
video.
on stage.
There's a video on from this guy in England who was doing a show. I guess he was famous in England, and he does this bit, and he's wearing like a Karnak costume from Johnny Carson. He's kind of dressed like
Mm-hmm.
wizardly and like that, and he falls, and everybody's laughing, yeah, and then he's just like, and dies. And so people think it's a bit, and it just, oh no, and they come out, and it's like, stop it. But you can fucking Google that after this conversation or now.
Yeah, please do,
It's amazing.
man.
Yeah. Well, Super Dave and Albert Brooks's dad died telling jokes at a roast or something, and he was killing.
Really?
He was in the middle of killing, and he just dropped dead of a heart attack, pretty much, or whatever. And poor Super Dave, Bob Bob Einstein, said he heard it on the radio. That's how he heard the news.
Oh
Heard it on the
wow.
Who
radio
was
the
his
next
dad?
day. He was a
Was his
comedian. I
dad a
can't remember
writer
his name. His dad was a well-known comedian on the circuit and in the
at the time?
biz at the
Yeah.
time. And so uh, at the funeral, Burl did his act, and Super Dave just hated it. Hated the business. Didn't want to have anything to do with it. But then he fell into, as you guys probably, I'm sure you know, he fell into a radio show in college, and he got called up by Tommy Smothers. Wanted him to come in. He said when Tommy Smothers called him, he thought it was a gag. He thought that old story when they say they thought it was a gag, it was their friend, and they hang up the phone. And Tommy called back and he says, "Hi, it's Tommy Smothers. I want you to come down."
I love the Smothers Brothers. I always thought like they were the
Mm-hmm.
best thing in the world.
I
And when
adored them.
I was doing the Martin Short show, they came through, and I forgot what bit I was doing. I was doing some bit, and Tommy Smothers came up to me. He's like, you know what you should do? you should do drive-by comedy, where you're in a car and you're telling jokes to people, and it's like they're falling over instead of killing people. And I was like,
Right.
that's the worst idea I've
That's the
ever heard in my
worst.
life. You've just destroyed my idea of what I
The Smothers Brothers.
thought you get the fuck
Did
out
he
my
really say
face.
that?
He really gave me that as an idea, and I was just like, just stop,
Worst
man.
idea.
I want to keep this idea. I thought you were one of my heroes, and the more you talk, the more I'm just like, stop. Just
But so you imagine his idea is that it's like um, Bad Boys, or what's the movie that with Cuba Gooding where the guy gets shot?
oh yeah,
Fuck, Boys in the Hood. Boys
Boys
in
in
the
the
Hood.
Hood. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like you're Boys in the Hood, but instead of shooting people, you make them laugh so bad that they keel over and die.
Dickie wanted to be a singer. He wanted to be a fucking singer, but then Tommy opened his
He's
mouth.
good.
He was
He's a really good guitar player
he's fun. Well, he plays the bass, but he
or
probably could
bass,
play
whatever.
both equally well. But it's always the guy who knows what he's doing who ends up playing the bass, like Brian Wilson, who just passed away. Tribute to Brian Wilson.
And,
Of course, he was the bass player. It's usually the cleverest guy in the band, but is that one ends up playing the bass.
and you know what? And it wasn't Tommy. It was the other one. It was the one with Tommy was the one that played. Tommy was the young one. Who was the stupid one?
Tommy was a stupid one.
Tommy
Yeah.
It was the
Tommy
other one.
played
Yeah.
dumb. He played dumb, but he was the genius.
It wasn't
He was
Tommy.
the
It was the
funny
guy.
one.
It was the one with the mustache.
It would be Dickie to give you a terrible idea like
Dick
that
was the one
because
that gave me the.
Tommy. No,
Yeah.
Tommy was the
Yeah.
brains and the heart. Dickie was the one who started the band, and all that banter is just real brother stuff. But the fact that Tommy was funny is what dragged Dickie into comedy because he wasn't. Of course, he was the straight man because Tommy was clearly the funny one. But Dickie
But
had
I
timing.
always assumed that he was the one that came up with the idea. So I thought he was the smart one.
No, no, no. Tommy was the one who ran the show. Tommy's the one who called Bob Einstein, not
Obviously,
Dickie.
he got me that they gave me that terrible ass idea.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
That was worse than it. Oh, we gave you guys Lil Wayne's album. Yeah, everybody in the world is talking about how bad this album is. But that song with Bono, I guess he does a bunch
That
of
sounds
songs
like it
with a
was
bunch of
written by.
people.
It sounds like
What?
yeah. He did Kendrick. He did Kendrick. Yeah, it's like it's like it was like AI. Like write a really beautiful song about staying positive during bad times, and that's what they got. It's just
Oh,
like
an
ignore
AI
everything.
song.
Just the sun will shine again.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
What kind of message is that? Hey, man, these are the
yeah,
days. What? What? Yeah, it's the days, man. It's just the days.
it's
What?
like
To
yeah,
look the other
like
way.
the whole thing about politics now. What's happening to the country is like shit happens. No, it's not shit happens. Shit
I'll
happens, so
say
you
that.
might as well enjoy the sun and enjoy your loved ones, man. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Don't you have millions of
It is
dollars for making
obviously
bullshit?
business as usual.
Don't you have
Business is
millions?
fucking
Don't you have rich?
usual.
Is it Bono one of your friends?
National Guard.
You know who loves Bono? I don't mind Bono, but who really loves him is Catan. Someone brought up the other day, like, no one is a fan of Bono. Like, no one admits that they're, like, these days, that's kind of like, you're a dork or something? So, no one, and then Catan, so I'm like, Catan definitely would go on record and say, that's my favorite band, So,
Bless his heart.
there's a lot of people.
Bono's a really, really nice
The
guy.
poppiest thing, it's the poppiest thing you've ever heard in your life. And it's
It's
just,
it's
when I
not
said
great.
it's nonsense.
It's not really nice, cool dudes, nice people.
Yeah.
Can play, can play decently, the music, whatever. But like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's and
All right.
but it's
But
just like
that song
I
is
like
like,
their revolutionary spirit.
is 2 Chainz like
Where
even do people even want to hear 2 Chainz, or is this more of like let me get back in, we'll do a crossover thing, or is he because
I think that
To
this
me,
he's
it's
just
always people.
I well
No, go ahead.
he's got like a bunch of like other pop art, and it's real. The album is real poppy, and it's really bad. I don't know if you saw the thing of the people talking about the song that sounds like it's Mario Brothers, the elephant song, but it's literally got an elephant.
Mario,
It's literally got an
Mario
elephant going.
Brothers.
"Rrrr." It's got an elephant.
You know who else has an elephant in their song?
Who?
Me. Christmas song has an elephant in
That's
the
right. It's the same. It's the same music. It's the
It's
same
the
sound.
same. Yeah.
Is that
Now,
what that
so I don't
is? The
mind that.
roar?
Actually, I like it. It's somehow in
Is
my
that a
mind, I'm like, oh
chipmunks?
yeah, elephants are cool. Like, yeah, I didn't even think of it till now that I have elephants also in the Christmas song.
Right. Jimmy plays the elephant on your song. Am I
Yes,
wrong?
Just hitting the
yes.
elephant button.
It's an effect on the Yamaha
He
keyboard.
froze.
When I tell
Wait.
people the story of how we've said this before, right? How I didn't end up in the song, but how I thought it was really stupid when because
Mm-hmm.
they were doing that in the office. So they kept hitting they were hitting all the animal sounds that were in that keyboard because it just happened to have animal sounds in it. It's a kitty keyboard.
You know, we were kind of like
It's like a
traveling,
child's
you
keyboard.
know, a little group, like
Uh-oh.
three of us would go. It was me and Jimmy, and then we just do a little bit of it, and they everybody kind of got a kick out of it. So we just and then famously, I guess I didn't even notice this, but I guess Jerry was like, "I'm not gonna do that shit," and left.
Jerry wanted
I
He
no
left
part of it. I
East an hour.
remember.
They were just, it was a bit. They were doing a bit. And it was just like, it was really stupid. They were going around in everybody's office like, hitting the machine, the sound effects on it. And he made up a little
Yeah, I was
song.
doing that little riff.
He's like, hey, it's a
Yeah,
Christmas
I
song.
just
And you guys started going, let's be carolers. Let's go around and carol
yeah,
everybody.
we're like, yeah.
And then I
Oh,
don't know
was
how
it
it ended up
Tracy,
on but the next thing they were
Tracy
rehearsing,
like,
it was in the show.
so then it was like I got Catan. I was like, Catan, can you hold the keyboard for Jimmy? So all his purposes is to hold the thing, and then Tracy was like, I
It's
want to
because
be
you're
in that.
carolers.
Yeah. Tracy just wanted to say, I want to be in it. He
Yeah,
saw
he
you
just said, I
doing
want
it.
to be in that.
I think you
And
were
I'm like,
already on stage doing
fucking
it.
sure.
And I was still like,
It may
stupid.
have been after Reed. No, he did read through because that's read through killed because they were doing the same shit that
Yes.
ends up happening on.
Oh, man. Sorry, folks. I'll get these folks back in. Good story, though. We were talking about the Christmas song and how I did not end up in the Christmas song because I thought it was stupid. And then they were doing this as a bit in the offices up in 30 Rock. They Jimmy Fallon and Horatio shared an office, and it was a big giant office. And most people didn't get. Most people had little small offices. I had a little like closet that I had to share with somebody else. So a lot of times I would be hanging out in Jimmy and Horatio's office. I think there was actually three people. I think there was another writer in there, but it was a big office where it could be three people. So it was big enough where people could hang out in it. And I used to come and hang out on the couch, and other people, if you're walking by, would just come and hang out. And it had they had a bunch of junk in there. Jimmy had a bunch of shit like a keyboard. That was a little Casio kids keyboard. And they were in there playing around with it and being annoying. And I think at like the time I was always like really serious about like, okay, what can we come up with? And they were just like, and then they started going around to different offices. We were coming up on 2 hours. I'm gonna have to end this. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end the stream soon anyway. If I can't get these guys back soon, I'm gonna end up. I'm gonna be probably taking a little break next week. And then the week after, try to get back into it. I'm going to be on the road a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to do some of these things on the road and have some live guests. But I may be a little bit more sporadic with the Thursdays. Hopefully not, but definitely next Thursday, probably not going to be there. I may upload some stuff in the meantime, so keep an eye on that. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us again. Look for my next interview, which I promised that I was going to get this other interview, and I have a life. I have to work. I have to do other things to do, and I just haven't been able to do it yet. But but we'll get it done before the end of the month. Um, anyway, yeah, thanks a lot for coming out, watching us again. Got him back in. Let's see what we can do before we go. I was just telling everybody I was about to close out because we were coming up on 2 hours, and I had some other stuff coming up. But
Sounds prudent.
yeah, I got a doctor's appointment.
Not going to do it. Not going to keep going. Wouldn't be prudent.
I think I'll wait for Horatio to come back. But yeah, those were great stories. And I was just explaining how the offices, how they were set up at SNL, where some of the offices were just like there was no uniform size. So some people had like these giant offices where 3 people could fit in, and some people only need like 1, but you had to share it with somebody. So Horatio, Jimmy Fallon, and I think another writer had a really giant corner office where they had a bunch of stuff in it. So a lot of us would just come and hang out there, and that's how they kind of came up with the Christmas songs. So you're just hanging out in the office. I would just sit in that office since there was enough room. They had a couch, and come up with ideas and write. So I think I was probably, while they were doing that, I was probably trying to write something, and they were like goofing around.
And bothering you.
Irritating. Yeah.
I see now how Catan would have to, if they're going to carol, if they're going to go from office to office, door to door, and go sing their song for everybody at Christmas time, you do need someone to hold the
Had to have somebody hold the
keyboard.
keyboard and
See,
turn their head back and forth.
Now the turning the head, I'm not sure about, but once they got it out on stage, it didn't seem, it wasn't clear to me why there was a reason Catan. It seemed to me that Catan and Tracy were superfluous.
Yeah.
But now I see that Catan had a purpose, because these are carolers. These are honest to goodness carolers.
Yes.
But in the first thing, the first time Raj did it, there was like a symphony, and then a snow globe, and this other stuff. So it didn't occur to me that they would go house to house. So now it's been rendered to a point where only Tracy is the truly superfluous part, which could have been you. Another one. That's a theme for today, Tracy. That's another Michelle Gondry that got away.
See, it kind of makes sense now, right?
The one.
You were talking about how what they first of all, Rachel, I was telling them like how the office was set up, and so why you guys were doing that bit, and then how you became carolers, and that's why Catan was holding the keyboard, and then Tracy was the superfluous, like the add-on.
Yes, he's the dancer.
Right.
Because when you were actually going around office to office, Catan was actually holding the thing. He was like, "Hey, come here. I need somebody to hold this keyboard while I'm doing this." But Tracy was not there when they were going office to office. Yeah.
No,
That's
Tracy was probably at the Yankee game.
Jerry, look how Raj is, as he's driving, his POV has gone back to like bounty hunter style again. And I think he's got a perp in the back. Is that Raisin? It looks like you've abducted your man.
No, Raisins. I dropped Raisin off.
Oh, he's dropped off.
He had to, he's got to get back to work. He's 3,000 deportations a day, man. Horatio's got stuff to do, man.
Yeah, right now I'm just scanning the area while you guys talk, and so I'll add some stuff. But mostly, I'm on duty right now.
He's gonna go hang around the Home Depot.
I love it. You get deputized by ICE in 3 minutes. The funny thing is, they didn't look at my immigration status. They didn't even look at that.
They don't care, I don't think.
They don't care. They don't give a shit. All right, guys. Say again.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the show.
Bye time.
Everyone, buckle up.
Good
Remember
seeing you,
buckle up, America.
I'm going to be on the road. I might not see you next week, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddies.
All right.
But week after next for sure. See you then.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take it easy. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming again once again. Let me get me back on here. And, yeah. Hopefully I will upload something this week and look for us live week after next. And subscribe if you haven't. Go on YouTube. Find me on YouTube, Twitch. What else am I on? YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Got Facebook? Anyway, thanks for coming in. Talk to you soon. I'll take you out with some music, right? Let's see what I got here.